This podcast is brought to you by Martin Kearns and the Valor of Valhalla series. In the battle between two ancient evils, can one naive young man become the last hope against powerful creatures of legend? Beneath the Veil is the gripping first book in the Valor of Valhalla dark urban fantasy series. If you like reluctant heroes, infernal myths, and bloody epic clashes, then you'll love Martin Kearns' formidable foray into the unknown. So head on over to readkearns.com and grab yourself a copy of Beneath the Veil today. Hello guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional. We are well on the way into 2026. It's going to be a great year. I'm one of your hosts, Jay O'Brien. With me always is our resident reader, Ryan. How are we going, Ryan?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream. Yeah, man. Not a lot to talk about since last week. Through the magic of technology. Just doing a lot of reading. Haven't watched any movies lately, so I'm planning on doing that this afternoon. Going to watch a lot of the movies I missed out on December, which is exciting. Yeah, just loving reading every night and every day and all the time and everything. So yeah, living the dream.
I've noticed that because you've basically taken over our Goodreads page, and I check it every now and again and go, whoa, yeah, Ryan is really getting through these books. It's just like I'm reading.
I got through a lot of books in December. A lot of novellas because I there was a couple that were Christmas themed, so I thought it's December, why not read them? And I read a lot of books in December. So yeah, the Goodreads page would be getting smashed at the moment, but because I'm reading your book and it's not yet on Goodreads, so yeah. I have slowed down on the Goodreads this month so far.
Yeah, well, that's the beta read stage. The Blood Moon Faith, my first fantasy, so keep an eye out for that. If you want to beta read it, reach out depending when this episode drops. I'm not going to rush it out the door because I want it to be good. It's going to be good. Anyway, remember to check out our sponsors, Rebecca Kearsells and Martin Kearns, our honorary sponsors. Alexander Robb and Janelle Schiecke. They are wonderful people, wonderful authors. Check them out. Buy Ryan's shirts. We always have to say that. Links down below to the merch. And now, without further ado, let's bring in our guest, one and only, Sam Robb. I had to do something different. How are you, Sam?
I am fine, thank you. Thank you, Jay. It's good to meet you guys.
Yeah. I'm glad we could finally get this done. But first, for those who don't know, who is Sam Robb?
I am just some guy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, United States, Earth, Solar System. Just keep on going on and on and on. Literally, I'm a guy from Pittsburgh. I grew up here, spent some time in the Navy on the west coast of the United States. Actually, that was the first time I got to visit Australia.
Oh, nice. When
I was in the U.S. Navy. We were out there for New Year's Eve. It was awesome. It was fantastic. I loved it. And then actually got to come back a few years ago on our way to Vanuatu. We have friends who are missionaries in Vanuatu. Oh, wow. So we got to visit, spend some time in Australia. Grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Spent a little time away from home, came back because of family, and settled in and realized just how much I love the city. So it's a wonderful place to live.
Excellent. My grandfather was in the Navy. Had a nice run in. I think he was on. I can't remember what ship he was stationed on, but he was on a ship, and then he got like really badly sick and bedridden, and then took ashore, and then the boat got sunk in a battle or something. So it's like I could have not have been born,
Oh my goodness!
It's one of those.
Yeah, no, I know.
Dodge the bullet. But before we dive into our icebreaker questions that we like to give everyone, you also do Ranker to Press. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Raconteur Press. I've got a couple of things that I do, writing related. One is a website called Team and More. and that is a place where you can go and find. If you're a new writer, one of the easiest ways to break into the business is to write a story for a themed anthology.
All right.
Like we've got an anthology of werewolves in World War II, right? Very narrow. You write a story about a werewolf in World War II, you've got a better chance than usual of getting in. So I maintain a list of open call anthologies there. I'm involved with a writing group called the Alpha Mercs, and several of us have ended up getting associated and working with Raconteur Press, which is a small press out of I want to say Iowa Park, Texas. So just been around for about 2 years. As our production manager likes to say, about 2 years ago, we became a real boy and actually became a real press. We've put out somewhere over, I keep losing track of a number, over 60 anthologies. Probably, and at this point, we're pushing towards maybe about 15 to 20 novels, both boys' books, middle grade boys' books, and which have turned out to be immensely popular, and adult novels. And one of those was mine, a book called Sigils, which is about a young man in Pittsburgh who's a graffiti artist, and he basically draws something someplace where he shouldn't and attracts the attention of something that you really don't want to be paying attention to. So that would a little bit of urban fantasy there.
Oh, cool. Well, I do want to touch on that later because that cover is amazing, and a lot of the covers from Raconteur Press are phenomenal.
Thank you. That's all largely Cedar Sanderson. We have a couple of artists, but Cedar's primarily done the majority of the covers at this point, with a few exceptions. She did Sigils, and it's very different from what I had kind of imagined. But the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, yeah, I kind of like this, the psychedelic feel to it. Yeah. And she is a tremendous artist. She's a unbelievably fantastic artist. She did the cover for the first anthology I was in ever, and absolutely loved it. Got to know her. That's kind of the way that I got to know about the folks associated with Raconteur Press, and so it's all her fault. There you go. We'll blame her.
We will touch on that later. Ryan likes to talk about covers and stuff, so I have collected. I've made an anthology of your covers, so we'll bring them up later. Cool. But let's get into these icebreakers. Ryan, how you feeling? Do you want to go first or second?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think I went second last time, so I'll go first. All right, so Sam, let me set the picture for you. We live in a almost perfect world. There is no war. The peace reigns supreme. Politicians are actually honest and do what they say. There's no cruelty to humans or animals. Everyone has enough money and enough food to live comfortably for the rest of their lives. So given that is the world that we live in, what is something that you would like to personally get rid of?
Oh, okay. So this is going to sound weird, right? Pickup trucks. Oh my goodness. I drive back and forth to work. I work downtown in Pittsburgh. I live about 25, 30 minutes outside of the city. So the main highway that I take into the road every day, it's a two-lane highway both ways. The number of times I've seen some idiot in a pickup truck either weaving through traffic like a sports car, or like, hey, I can go ahead and just bounce around all this traffic that's sitting here, probably for a good reason. Probably because there's construction or there's something else going up. I'm just going to pull off onto the shoulder and zip on by all these guys. and it is never the beat up pickup truck. It is never the farm truck. Farmers, if you're out there, I love you. Actually, there's a lady who does reels. She's an Australian sheep farmer, Terra Farms. Oh my goodness, love watching her stuff. I've got a couple of friends who are big time farmers out in the Midwest. They travel all up and down the United States, harvesting for people. Love farmers, love what you do. Their trucks are always beat up because they're working trucks, and they always obey the laws and the rules of the road. It's always the shiny, spiffy, ultra clean trucks that the guys just seem to not have any idea of how to drive.
Yeah.
I would get rid of them. Yep.
Yeah, I can agree with that. We have something like that out here. We have four-wheel drive trucks, right? And what really annoys me about the four-wheel drive trucks that act like that or are always in the accident, it's never the ones, covered in mud that they actually use the four-wheel drive to go off-road. It's always the mums that buy a four-wheel drive, taking it off-road, that never plan to take it off-road, but they just take it because it's the cool car to drive. And yeah, they're always the ones in the accidents or darting in and out between traffic. So yeah, let's get them off the road too.
They're and we call them utes out here. We don't call them pickup trucks. We call them
utes. Utility vehicles.
Yeah, utes. Yeah, but we do have an epidemic of like we're saying, like mums who pick up their kids at school, and it's just like it is like 300 meters of four-wheel drive utes. And they always park, like I used to live near a school, and they'd always park right where the driveway is. So it's a main road, and I could not see right, I could not see left because and I'm just like, life's the risk.
They're huge. Sometimes there's an apartment complex right next to our office, and if I leave too late, all the people have come home, and the streets are, all the street parking is filled, and you cannot kind of creep out a little bit trying to see around these huge vehicles, and it's just nuts.
I mean, definitely need to outlaw that.
I have a little church that's just a little, like probably 500 meters, 600 meters on the opposite side of the road on my street. And I normally get picked. I have a support worker because I'm in a wheelchair. So I normally get picked up, to go, to physiotherapy or to go out or whatever. And I never have a problem with the church people. But I was coming home from Newcastle, visiting my dad in hospital. And just to let you know, Newcastle's like 3 hours away. So we drive there, we spend the day up, come back. And we got back at about 8 o'clock on Thursday night. And the street was packed. And four-wheel drive was covering my driveway. That's where they dropped me off because it's easier for me to get out of the car into my wheelchair. And it was a mission to kind of try and get into that little bit of my driveway that was just left. And it was like a four-wheel drive that's never been off-road. No signs of, mud or anything. And it was a 4-year-old four-wheel drive, and it looked like it was brand new. So it had never been taken road, and that just really annoyed me.
I think we're in agreement.
I think so.
All right. So, what's something on your bucket list?
I got the chance to go to Ireland and Scotland a couple of years ago with a missions trip for our church. And I had an absolute blast. The time there, the people there, the things that we saw. We got to go to Glasgow. We got to just walk the streets there. And I have been talking ever since then with my wife about I need to take you to Ireland and Scotland. You would just absolutely love it. And in that time, in between, we have both kind of fallen in love with Highland cows, so Healing Coos, and we're like, we just really need to go to Scotland. So that's on
that
my bucket list.
Nice.
that's also on my bucket list because my wife is Irish. My heritage is Scottish, and I've
Oh,
always and my people come from Glasgow. So that's what I always wanted to go there. My dad did that trip about 9 to 10 years ago. He went over to visit his sister who was working in Leicester in England, and they went to Scotland. He visited, where our people come from and everything like that. And my wife, who's Irish, she's been over here for about 25 years now, and she's been back twice to visit family. But on both occasions, I have not been able to get out of work. So that's been a big thing that I want to do, is to go to Scotland and Ireland. And it's just my dad's a photographer as a hobbyist, but he's really good. And the photos he took of that trip, it just made me fall in love with that place.
The countries are unbelievably gorgeous. I mean, and the weather when we were over there, it was like, go outside in the morning, mug of tea, sweatshirt, just kind of sit and get ready for the day. And then by the end of the day, you had a little bit of rain that passed. The sun came out. It was nice and warm and short sleeve weather. And it was just some of the most beautiful country I've ever seen. I loved it. I loved it.
Oh, definitely. I hope one day, I get to go and visit the homeland, so to speak. But yeah, 100%, definitely.
All right. Next question. I will bring
All
up
right,
the picture.
question number 3. It's a visual question as well. Something you're probably very familiar with, being from the United States. It's the Mount Rushmore, which is, for people who are not in the United States and don't know, it's some of the 4 most famous presidents of all time in America. So we've got George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, I believe Theodore Roosevelt, and I never can remember the 4th one.
I think that's Jefferson, isn't it? Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson, that's right. So, given that the Mount Rushmore is obviously a great monument in the US, what is on your Mount Rushmore of television shows? It can be any era, any genre. What would you think, in your opinion, are your top 4 favorite TV shows?
Okay, so I'm going to try and I'll go chronologically, kind of.
Okay.
And start off with the X-Files, which I think was it was very game-changing for the time. The idea that you had this weird science fiction-y sort of thing, harken back to the days of the Outer Limits and the Twilight Zone, only kind of dumped it straight into conspiracy theory, U.S. government, Men in Black sort of stuff. But it also pioneered, I think, something that has been adopted by pretty much every show since then, which is putting together an incredible premise, some fantastic mythology, amazing actors, and then handing it off to the crappiest writers that you can come up with and letting them destroy the show. It's just we're like 3 seasons in and you're like, man, this is amazing, this is fantastic. And 5 seasons in, you're like, what happened? Where did this go? You saw Lost pick that up. A bunch of other shows did. Continuing on, so we had the X-Files. Probably I'll say the new Doctor Who.
Okay.
I was never a huge fan of the old Doctor Who. I kind of knew it was there. I'd watched a couple of episodes, but the new Doctor Who really sucked me in. A friend of mine said that, you need to watch this, and he sat me down to watch. What was the episode with the Weeping Angels?
Yeah, I know the one. I can't
the
remember what it's called.
Doctor wasn't really even in it, and it was just such a fantastically well written episode. That's like, okay, I need to back up a little bit. We need to watch this. Um, loved Eccleston, loved Tennant, loved Matt Smith. Capaldi I thought was a really great turn on it. So that like those four actors and those four seasons of New Who were just some amazing science fiction and some amazing adventure stories. Kind of also from BBC, but not quite, because we redid it here in the United States, because apparently we can't just take actual British television for some reason. Was the American version of The Office, and that I have to admit, I honestly struggle to remember like an actual episode of The Office, even though I watched a lot of them. But my daughters and I quote them all the time. They have some of the most memeable, some of the most quotable bits. Uh, the scene where I think Jim and Pam are like clicking their pens, and Dwight's like, "You learned Morse code just so you could talk about me in the office." Jim's like, "Oh no, of course, why would we do that? Of course we did that." And that just some of it was the quotes in The Office were amazing. And last, I would say The Mandalorian.
All right, yeah.
Just because it's modern. It was like the first real. I think that was the first real kind of made for TV, Netflix, Disney. It was Disney, but you know what I mean. Streaming service show that everybody watched, and everybody fell in love with the little Yoda baby. Everybody, we loved the Mandalorian and the setup and everything that was. And when he finally removed his helmet, and you knew how much that meant to him, that he was taking off his helmet, and like we're sitting there literally, and we're all like, it's just a gasp. And I mean, it kind of went down. Yeah, went downhill a little bit, but those first couple of seasons recapturing the brilliance of Star Wars, they'll put that into slot number 4. So there you go. There's my 4.
That end of season 2 was completely worth of it. That Luke Skywalker coming back.
Oh yeah,
that shook the whole world. I was just like, oh,
yep.
I loved it.
There were some really good bits in there.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I remember I was, I think, a little bit behind on The Mandalorian, because at the time I was working 7 days a week, and Chris and our mutual friend Chris and Jamie had already seen the finale of season 2, and I was catching up, and I was sort of messaging them as it happened, and then just that last little bit in season 2, where you see that, that hooded figure. And then I was like, no, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna give us that. And then you see you see robotic hand, and I'm like, no. The green lightsaber, and I was like, oh my god. And then just that last, I think 10-15 minutes of that episode was just, I felt like I was a little kid again. It was the pinnacle. I think that was the pinnacle of modern Star Wars, and like you said, then it just went downhill from there. But no, I 100% agree with all your choices. The X-Files has a special place in my heart. It was the very first adult TV show that I watched with my family, like with my mom and my dad. They were massive X-Files fans. We watched it from the start all the way to the end. I've watched it multiple times. I had all the VHS where they weren't actually the seasons, they were just a collection of episodes. And then I had the DVDs with the full seasons. And then, when it came it's on Disney Plus over here in Australia. And when it came on to Disney Plus, I was like, yes, I need to rewatch this again. And it's such a good TV show. It David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson, and then all the the recurring characters, like the guy that plays Skinner, the guy that plays Cigarette Smoking Man, like all of it, and the revelations that came along the way. Like it was kind of like it was the original monster of the week, so to speak, and then had that overarching story throughout the season as well. And like you said, so many other TV shows adapted that and unfortunately failed after the first couple of seasons. Lost is a perfect example. I have never actually finished it. Obviously, I know what happens at the end because of the internet. But I always try and rewatch it every 5 years or so, and I always get to the end of season 3 or halfway through season 4, and I'm just like, what is going on? It's just it's too much, and I never get past the end of that. But the X-Files manages to do it and does it well. So 100% can agree with all your Mount Rushmores. They're all fantastic shows.
Cool. All right, let's move on to your zombie apocalypse plan. Do you have one?
I have several. Okay, I am a geek. I'm gonna give a shout out to a gentleman by the name of Sima Xiong. He's actually a blogger who lives up north of me in a place called Butler, Pennsylvania. He writes 20-sided tales. If you guys have ever seen, he did. I think I can't remember what the name of it was, but he did a takeoff, like a screen cap of Lord of the Rings and reframed it as a bunch of guys playing D&D and just having a horrible time. The DM ripping his hair out because they're all being idiots and whatnot. Yeah. But DM of the Rings was the name of it. That was it. But he did a really long series that I love on how would you survive a zombie apocalypse. So a lot of my theory on this goes to him. Basically, it depends on whether you're talking. Are you talking fast Zeds or are you talking slow zombies? But the general theory is you want to put a buffer between yourself. So ideally, you want to find like a river with an island. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure that you are putting yourself far enough north that you're looking at some place where you're going to get below freezing, and then essentially make sure that you have enough food that you can survive through a winter in which you go out and pick up these frozen solid corpses and throw them into a wood chipper to clear out your area. So, because you're a zombie. You're shambling undead. Eventually you're gonna freeze if it gets cold enough, and then what are you gonna do? So that's my kind of head north. And plus you've got the added benefit that if you've ever looked at a population map, particularly where I am, I'd say I'm about maybe 300 to 400 miles from the northern population border of Canada, which is actually just like 150 miles past the Canadian border. Once you get past that, your population drops off to like 3 people per square mile or something ridiculous like that. So that's your other option. Just hop in the car, plow on up to central Canada, find a nice little spot and build yourself a cabin.
Go hang out with Tim McKay.
Exactly.
And I hear the zombies up there are really nice. They're helpful.
Now, on the other hand, zombie moose, depending on what you're doing, zombie moose, zombie bears, zombie wolverines, could be bad, but you won't know until you get there, so you might as well go for it.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, no one really talks about zombified animals. You know what I mean? Like, no one really deals with that. Like, I feel like Resident Evil did a really good job of zombifying animals and stuff like that. But you got to think a moose is a dangerous animal when it's not zombified. When it's got the taste for flesh, that could pretty much pretty much take you out. And then you've got the, bears again, very dangerous animal without zombification. And then you've got, like you mentioned, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman is a very dangerous animal without zombification. I mean, yeah, it's just, I feel like we need to explore more stories with zombified animals as well, not just humans.
Okay.
I think that would work. All right, now question number 5, and I'm just going to check the wording of this because I think we changed it. Yes, we did. Okay. Dr. Emmett Brown leaves his DeLorean parked in your driveway. Where or when do you go?
I feel like a lot of people would look back. And a lot of people would be like, oh, I want to go to this particular time in history, or how can I change history? And I will admit, I do have a little bit of that. Not the standard, like, let's kill Hitler sort of thing.
Yeah.
But there are things that would go. But I really want spaceships. I want asteroid colonies. I want Mars colonies. I want starships. So I think I'm getting in, and I'm headed for the future. I don't know how far I have to go. I hopefully can kind of make pit stops here and there. But I think just kind of keep an eye on maybe head down to where SpaceX is down in Texas, and just skip forward, say about 200 years. Just see where they end up. See how things are going. If things look bad, then I'm coming back. But hopefully it'll be booming, and I can buy a ticket to Mars and just go hang out there or something. That would be awesome.
Cool.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Behind that. All right. Well, the icebreakers are done, so let's move on to the origin story of Sam Robb. How did writing start for you?
Writing for me, I started writing when I was like 8 or 9 years old. Okay. Not really like intending like, oh, this is what I'm going to do with my life. But I grew up. My dad read a lot of science fiction, fantasy. He had huge bookshelves full of it. And I read just about everything that I could get my hands on from him that he had, and loved Asimov, loved Henry Kuttner, Frederick Brown, you name it, Clifford Simak, all these guys. So that's what I grew up reading, and I tried my hand writing a couple of stories, but kind of decided, no, I'd rather be an engineer. So that's what I went to school for. Went to Carnegie Mellon University, studied metallurgical engineering. Yay! So I know how to make steel. Yeah, I know, big surprise coming from Pittsburgh, Steel City. Learned how to do that, and then completely never actually did that because I went into the Navy, became an officer in the Navy, went to Australia, celebrated New Year's, yay! Came back home, and became a computer programmer. So, because my time in the Navy convinced me that dealing with people was horrible, and I absolutely did not like it, and I wouldn't have just a profession where I could sit down and be alone. So I decided to be a computer programmer. About 10, 15 years, 20 years of that, and I had forgotten how horrible people were, and I got into politics. So that was kind of like the same lessons that I learned in the Navy, only amped up to 1,000 and on speed, and came out of that. I spent a couple of years doing that, and I think I did a pretty good job. I think I did a pretty good job, and here in Pennsylvania, I helped run a presidential campaign for our state. Joe Jorgensen, Spike Cohen, Libertarian candidates for president in 2020. I helped. I was the state western part of the state. I was the state coordinator. And after a while, I was like, I'm not really having, this is not really going as fun as I thought it would be, as as productive or fulfilling. And my wife's like, yes, you're swearing an awful lot. And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. And maybe I should go back and try writing. She's like, yes, when you write, you don't swear as much. So there's, I don't know, maybe because I put it in my writing, maybe that's the case. But I decided, okay, I will go ahead and give this a try. And kind of started gradually, wrote a couple of short stories, found a writers group. There's a writers podcast from Larry Correa and Steve Diamond called the Writer Dojo. They started up, and I'm like, hey, this is fantastic. For starting writers, I'll go ahead and jump in. I'll listen to this. Learned a lot. Got in with a writers group. Started writing more, submitting stories, and there are people out there who apparently are foolish enough to think that I can tell an entertaining story, and they bought my stories, and I'm like, wow, if I can write a short story, maybe I can write a longer story, and that's where I started writing a couple of books. So I have a couple of I wrote a couple of novels for NaNoWriMo. 50,000 words in a month. So I ended up with a 70,000 word story. And once I got into that, I'm like, okay, this is fun. I like this. I like this a lot more than doing the politics. So I decided that I was going to make a go of it. I would try and write some novels, continue writing stories. And that's about the time when Raconteur Press got me and said, hey, we would like a novel from you, and we would also like you to come in and work with the company and do PR for us, do public relations for us. And I was like, yeah, well, I did some of that doing the politics thing, and it was horrible, but I would have a lot of fun doing it for writers, I think. Yeah. And I've been doing that probably for about coming up on a year now, and it has been a blast working with them and doing PR, connecting authors with podcasters, connecting authors with reviewers, just kind of helping people to develop their careers. And I'm having fun writing, I'm having fun helping authors, and I'm having fun connecting people. And that's probably the most fun thing that I can imagine myself doing. So
as long as you're not swearing as much as you used to.
No, I am not. I'm not. As long as I stay away from the politics. Yeah. I still have friends in there. I still occasionally will read things, and my wife can tell. She's like, you've been reading your politics stuff again. I'm like, yeah, you need to stop that. Okay.
Yeah, we say that about Jamie and our friend Chris. Like, I don't watch any news. I stopped watching the news a long time ago during COVID because it just made me realize that the media are in fact just hate mongers and over exaggerating everything and trying to get everyone to fear things a lot more. So I just stopped watching the news. So I get all my news from Jamie and Chris, and lately over the last 12 months it has been very political. So yes, we do talk. I think it comes as you get a bit older. I could say, like, I'm 43 now. When I was 20 years younger, it was all about music and all that kind of thing. Now it's like old men talk about politics and our Prime Minister ruining the world, which he is. I'm not saying that he's not. He's a complete and utter turd bag, but it's just like, oh my God. Every day I wake up and there's something new that our government, and all governments essentially are not great, but our government is doing, and it just makes me do the Patrick Stewart face palm, meme. It's just, man. But anyway, it's not the politics podcast. It is the awful podcast. I'm glad you got out of that, and you're doing a lot more, because I mean, I can see that you've had a lot of different career paths over your time. Very similar to me. I went to school. I went to university for computer science, one of the hardest computing courses in the world at the time, back in 2000. And I graduated. I have my degree, and I've never used it a single day in my life. I went because while I was doing that, I went to one of our biggest phone company providers, Telstra, and did tech support for their internet, like for cable internet, for ADSL internet at the time. And I fell in love with customer service. So I love helping people. So I've done that in many ways over the last 25 years, whether it be working for banks, helping customers. I drive for Uber, or I used to drive for Uber. I'm close to getting back into that. So I love talking to customers and helping people get where they're going. So yeah, it's just, there's a lot over our time of working that we get experience in a whole bunch of different fields.
Oh yeah.
And I've learned you have to be happy in your job, otherwise there's no point in staying. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be, and no matter. I have taken lower paying jobs because I love them, rather than just taking higher paying jobs. Miserable.
Yep. Yeah, there's no point in being miserable.
Not at all. Your mental health is important. And I guess you learn that as you get older. Like when I was young, I was like, just give me all the money. Give me. Before I got married, before I, was really sort of cognitive of mental health. I was like, I don't care. I'll work all the hours. Just give me all the money. And then as you get older, you realize, hey, family and everything is more important than money. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, that was a tangent.
Cool. Well, let's bring up these covers because we want to talk about them.
Yeah, I've already bought the latest book, Sam. I bought Sigils. I did that about 10 minutes after we started talking. So I'm the reader of the podcast, so I read a hell of a lot, like we discussed. But I read all my stuff digitally. So I have, my Kindle library, which I'm looking at the moment, is just absolutely insane. I have so many books. I'm really happy that I'm actually getting to read them this year. I've read more books over the last 12 months than I have since I was a little kid. But I really, really, really love the cover for Sigils. I saw it on Amazon. I can see what you're saying. It's very psychedelic, very, it's kind of like, I could tell that it's going to have some urban fantasy, some, something big's going to happen. And I really like the design of it. I think it's one of the better covers I've seen over the last 12 months. So it is definitely a very, very good cover. So, and you did mention briefly about what the story's about, but why don't you take us to the other two stories, the other two books you've got here first, and then we can go into Sigil more in depth.
Okay. One October Night actually is a collection of, I guess you would call it flash fiction. And that came from Cedar. There's something that I've never really gotten into because I'm not an artist, but called Inktober, where you basically take a bunch of prompts for the month of October, and every month you get your 2-word prompt, and you try and you if you're an illustrator or an artist, you try and draw a picture for that. One October Night came about because Cedar was doing Inktober, and she was planning on doing all these illustrations, and I said, you know what? Would you mind if I try and write a story to go along with these pictures that you generate? And she didn't have a problem with it. So that's what I started doing. And it was actually it was a lot of fun, but it was very intense because we'd go into a day, and I would know, for example, that a day the prompt would be Calipigus Waltz. And so I knew what the words were, and I had to think. I'd go in, I'd be like, okay, what's the definition of these? I'd do some research about how the words have been used and whatnot to try and figure out, okay, get my mind flowing. And then Cedar would throw out a picture, and sometimes it would be, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind. Other times I'd be like, no, I had no idea she was going to do this. But like around 6 o'clock at night, I'd sit down. I'm like, okay, I need to bang out about 3 or 4 thousand. Maybe. I think that my longest was about 3,000 words. A 2 to 3 thousand word story based off of this picture. And I
That's
tried to get it published by midnight. So I would sit down and write it, and then I would hand it off to my wife, who's an editor, and she would correct all my problems, and I'd fix it up and get it up there. But that's about halfway through doing that. I was talking to Cedar, and I'm like, we're kind of writing a book. And she's like, yes, we are. So we're going to go ahead and put it out. And so this has her illustrations and my stories. And honestly, I think it has some of my favorite stories that I've ever written in there.
That's awesome.
I love that. I love that.
Recall Notice came about because after one October night, that was a very intense period of working on that, and through October, and then November formatting and editing and whatnot. December rolled around, and I'm already I have seasonal affective disorder. I struggle when there's lack of light. I tend to get down and depressed, and so that's where I was, and I was having trouble writing. And my wife, who is unbelievable, she's amazing, she's so supportive, she's wonderful. She looks at me and she says, "Sam, don't be stupid. Go ask Cedar for a picture." So I did that. I went and asked, and she gave me this image, and I'm like, "Oh, I know who this is. That cat right there is obviously a private detective. That woman in the background is his sister, who is his court-appointed witch, because you can't just have a talking cat running around without a witch. And he's doing community service." And so I ended up writing this kind of like noir novelette sort of thing about magic amulets gone astray. And there is a zombie in there named Bruce. Bruce, apologies to you guys if I get it wrong, but Bruce speaks with an Australian accent. And at times he has to explain what he's talking about. But I had an absolute blast, and Bruce is one of my favorite characters that I think I've ever done. I think I absolutely need to revisit the world of Recall Notice and kind of expand on those stories, because I left it unfinished at the end. I left the arc finished, but our poor cat PI does not get his curse lifted yet. So there's still more to go. And then Sigils. So Sigils is my book, the novel that I did with Rackendor Press. It is set in an urban fantasy set in Pittsburgh. As I mentioned, it's about James, who's a high school student, senior in high school, about 18 years old. And he has aspirations. He wants to go to art school, and he is a graffiti artist, and ends up leaving his mark on some place that he shouldn't, and attracts the attention of something that lurks within lurks in this area called the Realm Between, between our world and others, place of dreams. And basically it starts hunting him in his dreams, trying to draw him in and devour him. There's a mysterious young lady that he encounters. There's a Marine who knows an awful lot about what he's going through, because he is one of the people in Pittsburgh that is kind of a self-appointed guardian for the city, and deals with things that come in from the Fey realms when they intrude upon the city, and a goth girl by the name of Sin, who is sarcastic, foul-mouthed, and just absolutely amazing, and I love her. So, but the story winds up. I think it has a satisfying conclusion. Although I feel like I should say that I am working on the sequel to it right now, which is tentatively titled Runes.
I like that.
Runes. Yeah, go on, Ryan.
I say I like that because, as Jamie will attest to, if I read a book and I really like it and I feel like there's more to be done, I will just pester the author until they write more. Because I did that with Jamie because his book Ancora, which came out last June. I read Jamie's stuff early, and I read it early, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I think he already had the idea, but I was like, there's a prequel in this for sure, 100%. Like, I want to know more about this character Destin, who was in the book for maybe in a flashback for maybe 3 or 4 chapters. And I'm like, I need to know more about this guy. And he goes, well, I'm already writing a prequel, or I've already got the idea for a prequel, which is the lovely Destin. I have it here because Jamie bought me my copy yesterday. Available on Amazon. But yeah, I will, because I love this world, and I've already told him after finishing the prequel, like, there's a sequel in this prequel because there's still many years before. I am one to pester authors if I really, really like their story and I can see there's room for more. I will pester you and go, what about this character? Or how about you write more in this world or something like that? Like Recall Notice, I did not get that, what you explained it to be from that picture. And I am a cat lover. My 2 children are both cats. And I am getting Recall Notice because the talking cat is my jam. But yeah, I will definitely pester. So I'm really glad to hear that you're working on the sequel because I'm probably going to like it a lot. And I'll probably be
I hope you do.
Pestering you for a sequel.
And I'll tell you, Jamie, I think you can agree. Having someone, you write these things and you put them out there, and you're like, here they are, and hearing from someone that you like them, hearing from a reader that this was great, I want more, is the best feeling in the world. It is absolutely top notch. It is one of the most inspiring things you can get. Right? Yeah. Am I right?
Yep. Although the first book I ever wrote was Letters from the Emu War, and that's no one's asking me for a sequel with that. but it's,
there are exceptions. No, but there's somebody out there. There's somebody out there who read it, and it is stuck with them, and it's one of their favorite books.
I mean,
you know it.
Like, it's that. So
okay, I've got at least one person. I've got at least one person that I think would love that book. I know someone who I think would love that book.
Well, a lot of people do. Apparently, this is what I found to be the most common thing that's happening. People aren't buying it for themselves; they're buying it for someone that they know. They go, "Oh, I would like this for." You know,
oh, really?
I had a lady from, where was it? She lived in France and Serbia, and she was trying to order it from Amazon, and Amazon wouldn't ship it to her address. So she reached out to me and said, "I really need this. I really need this book. Can you send it and sign it?" It was a gift for someone else called Ivan. So, and then she asked me to sign it and write a message, which was pretty much written in Serbian. I'm like, I had to Google what translates to make sure I wasn't like saying something that was problematic. You know, but
oh my goodness.
But yeah, the only thing. Do you know Mike Molman from Balding Balding? Do you know the Balding guys? They're 2 older guys that they do a YouTube live channel. Like they're pretty great. But like Mike Molman, he's like always pestering for the audiobook. Give me an audiobook. Give me an audiobook.
We're starting to look at that at Raconteur. That's one of the things we get that a lot, right?
Yeah.
People, I think, especially these days with all the unfortunate, like the AI slop out there that kind of gets pushed up to Amazon. If you have an audiobook, then that's like, oh, you've put some effort into this. I know that this is an actual real book, not just some garbage. So
there's a lot of potential in it. Like, I mean, it sucks for us in Australia because there's this thing that a lot of Americans use, and I know the UK have it called ACX, where you basically we don't have access to that in Australia. So the only way we can do it, I don't know. It's just it's not available to us for whatever reason. You know,
whoever's the CEO, I'm imagining the cigarette smoking man.
Yeah,
Australia will not have ACX as long as I'm in charge.
Yeah, pretty much. I think something to do with like how they pay you or something. It's like we I don't know. It's weird. And that's something would be awesome. I'd love to do it. I'd do all my books, bam, done. But our alternative is like you got to fork out a lot of money for them to do it for you or whatever. And I'm just like, I don't have the money.
Now, are you? I'm honestly curious. Are you published with an Australian publisher?
No, I'm all
is that
all
the
indie.
issue?
No, I don't know. I think. Yeah, well, because I looked it up and it was all about how you get paid. So it's nothing to do with whether you're a publisher. But if you're with a publisher, they'd probably pay for the, it's called Audiobook Australia or whatever. But you've got to pay for everything. It's probably to do with that. Because I was with a hybrid publisher for about a year, and then they went bankrupt. But they never talk about audiobooks.
No, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's definitely something I want to do. So, if someone wants to throw money my way, I'll do it. If you scream loud enough, I'll do it. But
yeah,
I'm not there yet. Okay, so you mentioned you're working on sigils too, but is there any other projects in the works?
Yeah, actually, there's one the kind of I guess I can say it because they published it on their blog. I'm going to be doing there's a last year I did a short story for a Car Wars anthology. So that's a gaming tie-in. And this year I'm going to be doing another gaming tie-in that's going to be with the Adventure Conquerors and Kings system. So they're doing a Alexander Macrease, who does that system, is doing a Kickstarter for I think it's for a new source book for the gaming system. And one of the things that's coming along with that is going to be an anthology with stories set in that world. So I'm going to be doing, as I do, I say my stories tend to be either, funny talking cats or demons eating people's faces off. So this is going to be definitely a demons eating people's faces off type of story. So I'm really looking forward to that. And continuing in that theme, I've got another book that's coming out with Celine Press, which is a new publisher, a spinoff from Canon Publishing. Canon does largely like post-apocalyptic science fiction and fantasy. One of their big series is Fae Wars, which is okay. What if the elves came back and they were upset with us? Things don't go well, but I've got some good friends who write in that. Charlie Cox, she just had a really really good novel in there called Northwest Front, which is about a young woman pairing up with a Sasquatch, and just great books, great writing. But my story was more of a fit for Celine, which is they're going for more of a fantasy, romantasy horror vibe. So my book is not actually romantic. See, there's a little bit of romantic element because people are people,
Yeah.
but largely it's about a gentleman who's a law officer in a fantasy world, and he has a secret that he wants to keep, and he gets paired up with a magus of the Empire, who is perfectly capable of understanding this secret that he's trying to keep and sussing it out. And the two of them have to work together to hunt down a warlock who has been murdering. When they find out he has murdered several children, and they're trying to figure out what is going on, why he's doing this, and obviously things don't go the way that they expected it to. So it's right now it's going to be called working title is going to be Road Mage, and I think a sense of murder is the actual title. Road Mage is going to be the series, because there's going to be more books in this one too. I really had fun with it.
That's awesome. I love a good play on words. Oh, look, Ryan's friends come.
Yeah, if you need inspiration
Hello.
for Recall Notice 2, my cat read it. She has convinced me to buy it. I'm going to read it to her.
So who is that?
Mavis?
That's
I think?
she's my cat Mavis. She literally does not leave my side. The whole time I podcast, she's sitting down next to my wheelchair. And then occasionally, actually for the last few episodes, she jumps up and she likes to make an appearance. But she doesn't go far from where I am. Our other cat Ripley is obsessed with my wife, and Mavis is obsessed with me. When I go to bed and do all my reading at night, she sits on my lap and just curls up and falls asleep. She's my child. She's my daughter, and she's just like, she just wanted a bit of attention. But you're going to have to go on the floor now, okay? Sit down there. She's very looking forward to me reading her recall notice. So I'm excited.
Good. She has fine taste. Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, but again, like I always say to Jamie, look, maybe this will be the episode where I don't have to buy any books, but we have not come to that episode yet. As soon as you mentioned and you told us to be about what Sigils was about, I was like, okay, I'm going to get that for sure, 100%. And then I was looking at Recall Notice. I'm like, oh, it's a cat, okay. And then you explained that cat is a PI. I was like, okay, I mean, take my money.
And I apologize for this, but I have to mention this as a representative of Raconteur Press. We do have several volumes of Moggy Noir stories, and Moggy's in Space. So I believe there's 3 volumes of each of those, or at least multiple volumes. So you definitely, if you are in the mood for cat-based science fiction and fantasy, we've got you covered.
Awesome. I will definitely be checking that out for sure.
Because cats sell. I think there was an author on X that was saying, like, I don't know why, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I put cats in my pictures with books of them, and I'm selling more. Like, it's...
Well, that's why I held Mavis up for the last 3 episodes, so we get more views on the episodes, The cats sell.
Yeah.
You know what? At this point, I'm willing to. I'll do anything.
I'll do anything.
Like, here's my cat.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how the Blood Moon Faith goes, Ryan, because I got a cat in that.
Is that towards the end of the book? Because I don't recall.
Yeah, well, it's not it's Storm Lynx. It's like a cat.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, Kara. Okay, I'm like, what? There's a cat. Oh, Kara. Yeah, she's a Storm Lynx, a very violent.
So it's a cat that can unleash lightning. So
I love it.
Which all of them would do if they could.
Hey?
100%. I definitely would.
It's like, where's my food?
That's my other cat, Ripley. If I feed her 1 minute past her feeding time, she will come up and just sit there and meow at me until I feed her. So, yeah, she would. I definitely unleash lightning.
Thunderbolts and I'm getting a lot more ideas for an upgraded graph for story pitch, which is what we're about to play right now. If you're ready to play. Now, this was actually inspired by Mirthquake, rest in peace.
Oh my goodness, David Batterino
yeah,
he is an amazing guy. I wish he had continued that. That was an awesome show.
He is on my list to get on here, so you know. But yeah, Mirthquake was great. I was on there once, I think. For a very, very fun game.
Team Janky Submarine or Rickety Air Balloon?
I don't think Ryan's aware of this. It was really hard because it would depend on how I get onto the thing. Like, would I rather wake up on a hot air balloon, or wake up on a? I think I'd want, if I was knocked out, I'd want to wake up on the sub. You know, but if I had to get onto the thing, then I'd probably go on the hot air balloon. The question was, Ryan, for this show, that was like, would you rather be traveling on a homemade hot air balloon way up in the sky, or on a janky, dodgy little submarine way down in the deep? Like, which would you rather travel on?
I'd probably say submarine. I think because I can swim. I used to be able to swim pretty well. So if something happens, I could probably. But there's more chance of me making it to the surface than if the hot air balloon fails and I fall.
Yeah, but you're way down in the deep, so you probably won't be able to swim to the surface.
Okay, so I'm going to die either way. I think I'd rather drown than fall to my death.
Yeah. I think with the submarine, if the pressure gave in, then you'd use instant death, crushed. You know.
Yeah. Whereas if you fall out of the balloon, you're falling. There's at least a minute, 2 minutes maybe, where you can see your death coming, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, let's play this game. Let me bring up the picture. So the game is called Story Pitch. We have a setting, a genre, a main character's profession, and a crazy addition. You're basically going to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each of these categories. We're going to give you something that correlates to those numbers that me and Ryan have on a special graph. There's 2 rounds. It's a lot of fun. It tests your creativity. But if you're ready, give us your numbers.
We'll start with 4.
4.
Okay.
2.
2. Yep.
Okay.
6.
6.
9.
And 9.
Oh,
right.
Yes, I love numbers right on the crazy.
Okay, so your setting is a train.
Okay.
Your genre is sci-fi.
Science fiction. Your main character is a historian.
Ooh.
And your crazy addition, which is something or someone that must appear in your story, and it is Henry Cavill. Now, it's not Superman or it's not Geralt. It is the actual Henry Cavill.
It's Henry Cavill.
It's Henry Cavill. Now, if you want Henry Cavill to become a historian, there may be some arguments there, but it's Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I am supposed to pitch a. So would you like a short story? Do you want a novel or
whatever you want?
Movie?
It's completely up to you how in depth you want to be, or how minimal you want to be. But it's got to be a sci-fi. It's got to be on a train. It's got to have a historian as a main character, and it's got to have Henry Cavill. That's all we need.
Okay, here we go. The story is called Time Train. And the premise is that, yes, you can travel back and forth in time, but much like a train station, it has to be on a fixed route. There are only certain places that you can stop.
Okay.
We have a historian who's on, and he is on this time train, and he is part of a group that is going to examine something far. I have no idea what it would be. Something far, far back in history. Uh, when they stop at their first stop, it's supposed to be a rest stop. They're supposed to just have a very, very calm evening together, but it happens to be in the 20th century. They didn't realize that there was going to be a movie shoot at that location. So what happens is the train is mistaken for Henry Cavill's makeup trailer. He comes on and tries to turn on the lights, and he and the historian lurch forward into time, not knowing where they're going because neither one of them can operate the time train. So the rest of the story is them ending up in various places in time where they have to try and figure out where they are and what's going on so that they can calibrate the train to get back home, which means that Henry Cavill has to pretend to be a Roman emperor, a Gaulish, I don't know, whatever, a Viennese lord, all these weird things, and the historian is coaching him on how to pull off the part until they finally get back home. And of course, during all of this, the reason that this happened is because there's something nefarious going on and happening in the background, and there's somebody that is on the time train with them, and they finally find it out and defeat them, and blah 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 blah. Yay!
Brilliant.
I like it.
So,
I like it. That's good.
Extra bonus points if you can get one of the guys from Time Bandits in there.
That's
I like
hit.
it. That was very well done.
Yeah. All right, round two. You can give us the same numbers, or you can give us new numbers. It's completely up to you. We have a different graph.
Oh, okay. We'll do the same numbers backwards.
Same numbers backwards.
9624.
9, 6, 2, and 4. Okay, so this is the first. We've never had this one before, but your setting is the Sahara Desert.
And your genre is grim, dark fantasy.
Had this one before. All right, your main character is a bounty hunter.
Okay.
And your crazy addition, which is someone or something that must appear in the story, is Sam and Dean Winchester from Supernatural.
So
this is
it's a grimdark fantasy set in the Sahara Desert. Your main character is a bounty hunter, and Sam and Dean Winchester have to be there.
This is just an episode of Supernatural, isn't it?
No. But they can't be the main character. The main character is a bounty hunter.
Main character is a bounty hunter. Oh my goodness. So, well, here's the thing, right? So you got I'm thinking Sahara Desert, grimdark fantasy, bounty hunter. Who would be the bounty hunter in the Sahara Desert? I'm thinking of the Mummy, right?
Okay,
I'm thinking of the Mummy, and you've got this ancient demonic force right there, but you also have the ancient demonic bounty hunter who's after him because he borrowed 73 Egyptian Quatlus back in the day, and with interest now it's the entirety of the world. So he basically owes him the world or his soul, and he's going to come after him and get the soul. And Sam and Dean end up in the desert because the bounty hunter needs a distraction. So he basically leaves breadcrumbs, making them think that there is something in the desert that they need. And when they show up, it turns out that really, no, sorry, you're just the bait. So
I like it. I like it.
I'll be honest with you. I was getting really excited with the Sahara Grimdark Bounty Hunter, and then Sam and Dean, and I'm like, oh man, that's just a wrench in that. How do I get them into there?
Well,
at least you knew who Sam and Dean Winchester was. We had a couple. The last two people we had on that got Sam and Dean Winchester. They're like, who are they? Who's Sam and Dean Winchester? And we had to go and explain it all, and that made it a bit awkward.
Yeah, well, it's not that hard to explain. They're two brothers that hunt demons. It's like
There you go. I'd rather do Time Train. I think.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather do Time with Henry Cavill as himself. Yes.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And I like how he had to act as different people in different eras because he's an actor and he could use his acting skills to do that. And I like
yeah. And of course. Of course, the historian and Henry Cavill do not get along at all.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah, exactly.
They obviously have to hate each other. Yes.
Like, who hates Henry Cavill? I don't know.
I don't know. He is. He's like everybody loves him.
Yeah, he's like the young Hugh Jackman. Because I don't know.
He's a real nerd. Like, he builds his own computers. He plays Warhammer. Yeah. He's read all the Witcher books before he even was offered the role. He's just like he's like a massive nerd. So I guess that's why we get behind him, because we're massive nerds as well.
Yeah. Well, that's why he's called King of the Nerds.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It's just funny that all his brothers are in the military and he's the actor.
And he's the least famous the least trained Cavill brother. They're all like super martial artists and stuff like that as well.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Well, if you look up his brothers, like all their credentials are like kind of basically blocked out, so they're like pretty like secret ops stuff like that.
Oh wow!
So and he's just like I'll
he's
pretend.
Like the baby brother.
and it'll be like that episode of How I Met Your Mother where Marshall's like the tiny one and he's 6'5" and they're all like little Marshall. So like little cute Cavill, even though he'd destroy us in a fight.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Well, we made it to the end. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a blast.
Thank you for having me.
Now's the part where we give you the floor to plug what you want. Tell our listeners and viewers where they can follow you and buy Sigils and your other books.
Okay. You can follow me on Substack. Sam Robb Writes, SAMROBB Writes.substack.com. That's primarily where I hang out. Because I don't like all the rest of the social media because the politics.
Yeah.
You can buy my books on Amazon. You can find me on Amazon. The other thing I would pitch is Raconteur Press. Go find Raconteur Press. Go check us out. We have some amazing authors. We actually just released a book by Scott Huggins, Through a Spyglass Darkly, which is an amazing idea, right? He basically said, what if you gave Medusa's gaze turns men to stone, right? What if you gave her a spyglass? She now becomes basically an untraceable assassin. Wow. And he kind of riffs on that. We've got another one from my friend Nick Nethery called Relics of the Fallen, which is the idea that the Earth was once a battlefield for races and things that we can barely comprehend. And some of their what amounts to their unexploded munitions still lie around. And there's a secret agency called Wormwood that is responsible for diffusing those. Just a bunch of awesome books from Raconteur. There's mine, Sigils. We talked about that. If you get the chance to go, once it's out, keep your eyes out for A Sense of Murder from Celine, and follow me on Substack, and you'll get all the news about when everything comes out.
Awesome. Well, guys, I'll leave all the links down below. Please remember to check out our sponsors, Rebecca Kearsells, Martin Kearns, our honorary sponsors, Alexander Robb and Janelle Schiecke. And with Janelle Schiecke, check out the Dark Veil Society, because they are a great bunch of people as well. A little extra shout out there. So, until next time, keep supporting those indie authors, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
See you next time.